Your book is really nice. I think it's an antidote to cynicism. Instead of just throwing up your hands and saying this is an unfixable problem, you come with solutions, even if they're only partial solutions, because it's such a vast problem. So I'd like to get into a few of those potential remedies. One of them that you begin with is banning what you term false election speech, which is false speech about the mechanics of voting. So how would that work? And given the temperature or the composition of the Supreme Court, how likely is it that they would affirm that law?
Right. So just to make the general point, the book believes, or I believe, as I expressed in the book, that this is a multifaceted problem. It requires multifaceted solutions. Some of these changes can be made through law. Some of these changes can't be made through law, but have to be made through private action in society. And the reason for that is we have, I think, in this country, or I hope we still have, a commitment to both free and fair elections and to robust political speech. So we would not want to have a law that says, anytime someone says something bad, however we're going to define bad, about elections, that some kind of election czar gets to say that speech is removed. Because, pick your least favorite president and imagine that he or she gets the chance to appoint the czar, right? You wouldn't want that kind of system. It would be very bad for our democracy. And so I'm looking for certain ways legal ways to try to act consistent with the First Amendment in terms of allowing free speech, but also giving voters more reliable information. And you picked on one of only two very small areas where I think I would talk about proscribing, limiting information. Most of my solutions are about providing more information, like enhanced disclosure rules, of labeling deep fakes as fakes. But I do believe that there is room for a very narrow ban on empirically falsifiable election speech. So if you lie about when, where, or how people vote, Democrats vote on Tuesday, Republicans vote on Wednesday. Or to take a real world example where someone's being prosecuted right now, someone lied, directed messages to African Americans during the 2016 election saying, you can vote by text or vote by social media hashtag, and about 5,000 people tried to do this. This is empirically falsifiable, right? So you can go to the website of official election reports. You can find out actually voting's on Tuesday. It's not on Wednesday. You can't vote by text. You can only vote by mail in some places or in person, right? So that kind of ban, I think, can work. You could give the federal government the power to prosecute people who spread these false informations and the power to seek injunctions against news media that share this information, right? Just like there are other kinds of prohibitions on perjury, for example, right? That's a ban on false speech in the context of a trial or another judicial proceeding. Bans are very hard to get through, and that you have to have a really compelling reason. And the compelling reason to stop speech about when, where, and how people voted is that it could lead to actual disenfranchisement of voters. It wouldn't address most of the speech I'm concerned about in the book, but I think it would deter some very bad, rare, but very bad conduct. And it's a small piece of dealing with a much larger problem.
Thanks for watching this video clip of the Speak Good podcast. If you enjoyed this conversation, please check out our full conversations on your favorite podcast directory. We've spoken with everyone from the Secretary of the Smithsonian Institution about what it was like to be the founding director of the National Museum of African American History and Culture, to a member of Congress who describes his day job as being in the wrestling ring, to an expert storyteller who helps us understand how we can use stories to help us achieve our business goals. Thanks for watching.